session, right, what are the things that you think that the students are more focused on? Are they more focused on the business aspect of it, or do you see that they are more focused on the IT side, or is it quite balanced?
I think I saw a lot of academic content in there.
Right.
So one of our scoring conditions actually is on creativity and originality.
Okay.
I think the emphasis on the academic may have caused the creativity part to suffer a little bit.
Right.
That's the feeling I have.
I think some teams have a fairly better understanding of business requirements.
Okay.
Some teams, but then we've also seen teams that don't understand, it very well, especially from the cost aspect of of running a business. So I think more needs to be educated on this area.
So you don't think that they look into the numbers enough? Is that what you're putting forth?
I think numbers is one thing, yeah, but having the mindset or mentality to know that before I propose this solutions, number one, I need to address what's the problem.
Okay.
Some things are not coming across and having understood that well.
Right.
Yeah, I think some things probably just come from a very academic point. Instead of understanding whether there's a need from the industry for such a solution, they just come up with a solution and think that they can present it to the industry.
So to clarify, actually, I don't mean it being negative when I say academic, because for some of these, they would score very well in a final exam. The way they come up with their slides and all
Okay.
that. It's just that at the end of the day, will this fly in the business world?
Okay.
Could they turn this into something that would turn them into the next, IT media mogul, magnate, or whatever it is?
Okay. I noticed that you asked questions where it relates to whether they could further develop the solutions, which means that whether they could work on their extensions. Is that a market that you see that's expanding and there is a room for expansion? Or I think like solutions, right? So whether they can do extensions beyond just using the off-the-shelf solutions. Was that what you were driving at?
I'm glad you noticed that, because really this is just a starting point.
Okay.
And actually what we were hoping to find here is a team that was really passionate about what they were building and wanted to take it further. So our role here would actually be to give them almost like a starting point, a bit of a leg up, and hopefully some advice that might make things a little easier for them down the road. And even those which I might not be scoring very well here, who knows, in 5-6 years' time, I might be surprised to read about them as being very successful businesses on the web. And I hope that's the case.
Sure.
I really hope so.
Right. And for yourself, I noticed that your questions tend to look at whether they have industry experience, as to whether they actually interview these people, they actually have a feel of the situation. Do you think there was a lack in them actually?
I think there was lack, maybe because they're younger and they don't really dare to ask the questions, point blank, or they don't really know how to structure the questions in such a way to get the information out from the business owners. But I think it's important to first find out and identify the problem. A lot of them I see, I don't really understand what's the main objective of this project. Okay, they're going all over the place. Yeah, but some of them was quite alright.
Jay, when you see these people presenting, none of them presented on publishing. Do you think it's because there's a lack in opportunity for them to work on publishing, or publishing IT is not as big in publishing?
No, I don't really think so. I think the focus is more on helping SMEs. So I guess it's a very big, broad area, and publishing is only a very, very small area. But actually, one of the things I'd like to add is that while some of the ideas that may be raised in that sense may not fit the particular industry they are talking about, but actually some of the ideas are interesting. But if they could actually plan it out into another industry, as one of the case studies that were brought up, I think that might work. So they probably haven't thought through whether that's the right industry they are targeting the solution. But the idea itself is actually quite interesting.
Okay, before I end this interview, right, last words from each of you. Looking at these students, I mean, they are in their teens, right, late teens. How do you think they are fared in putting forth solutions?
I can tell they've all worked hard. They work hard, and I appreciate the work they've put in.
Right.
And I can't help thinking that when I was that age, I would have not come up with anything close to as good as they did.
Right. It's probably true. I think it's already very brave that they are out here and presenting. Yeah. So I mean, trying to. I mean, I'm at this stage now that I can say what I can say.
Right.
But I mean, if I were like 18 or 19, 20 years old, I probably would also not have that business mindset that I know. I know that because I have experience now. Yeah. So I think I mean, even though some of them did not do well, from my perspective, I think it's already a very gung ho of them to take up this challenge.
Great.
I think there are a few of them that do stand out quite well in their presentation.
Yeah.
I mean, the individuals, not necessarily the whole team.
Right.
So it's quite interesting, they're confident, and they're able to, put across the message.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank. Super.